Lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Mayor Rowe,
Present.
Mayor Pro Tem Miller,
Present.
Councilman Racy,
Here.
Councilman Porter,
Here.
Councilman Sanders.
I wish him to be excused. He has asked that we excuse him for this evening's meeting due to a personal family matter.
Thank you. Councilman Gabriel,
Present.
Councilman Sutton.
Present.
You do have a quorum with 6 members present.
Okay, we will now have a moment of silence for Alexander Echu. He is the son of our police chief, Al Masiak. Okay, thank you.
The first item is item 1, approval of agenda.
A motion from council, please.
Move to approve. Support.
It was moved and supported. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay. Thank you.
Item 2 is city council minutes. Item 2A are the regular meeting minutes of April 18th.
Move approval.
Support.
It's been moved by Councilman Racy, supported by Councilman Porter. Are there any corrections, additions? No? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Item 3 are presentation of certificates to the 2018 Distinguished Young Women Scholarship winners. Lauren Perry and Jody Berry are present. They're the co-directors of the program this year. And I'd like to have them come up and just tell us about the program.
Certainly.
And then we'll call up the girls individually, and then we'll have them all stand up here, have the ladies come up and stand, and then we'll take a group picture at the end. Does that sound good? Right, thank you. Right.
Hello, everyone.
Hi, how are you?
So good to see you.
Nice to see you again.
Thank you so much. We just wanted to say thank you to all of you. It is so incredible what you do for us and how you support this program. The Wayne Westland Distinguished Young Women Program, just for anyone who does not know, it was originally America's Junior Miss Program. It was begun about 60 years ago. They're actually celebrating nationally their 60th year, and we, as a Wayne Westland program, are celebrating our 50th year. So that's very exciting for us. We've been around. Thank you. Our program book from this year. Yay. And we truly love this program, been involved in it for quite some time. And as always, we like to make a little plug if you know anybody that's going to be a high school junior next year and they might be interested in this program. We absolutely would be very open and be very excited to talk to them and get to know them. But again, thank you so incredibly much. We are so proud of the women behind us right now.
Thank you.
I would just like to add, for those who don't know, the program not only awards scholarship dollars, but we also have workshops and other life skills that we teach to these young ladies. Interviewing skills, self-confidence, improved self-esteem, how to prepare themselves for college, how to make good choices, on and on. So it not only does it all award scholarships, it also gives them many, many other attributes that they will carry forward into their future lives. So thank you again for your support and for
you.
recognizing them.
Thank you. What happened to the young lady? She was on 2 legs last time I saw her.
I was playing soccer and I got my foot caught in a net,
Oh,
Boy.
so I tore some ligaments.
oh my. Oh, geez.
But a trooper's still here.
Still here, yep,
We're good.
yep.
Yes.
Okay, all right, you want to start?
So, here are the certificates. I'm going to call them out by name, and then I'll read their, what they've completed. Okay. The first is Ashley Sosha. She is the winner of the 2018 Wayne Westland Distinguished Young Women Scholarship Program. She's also an additional winner of Scholastics, Interview, Talent, Self-Expression, and Spirit categories, and also a recipient of Be Your Best Self Essay Award. Soraya Bolden is also a winner of the 2018 Distinguished Young Woman of Westland Scholarship Program, additional winner of talent and physical fitness categories, and a recipient of the Be Your Best Self Essay Award. Danielle Deal. She is also a winner of the 2018 Distinguished Young Women Wayne Scholarship Program, additional winner of Scholastics and interview categories, and a recipient of the Be Your Best Self Essay Award. Catherine Ivanka, a participant in the 2018 Wayne Westland Distinguished Young Women Scholarship Program, and winner of the Physical Fitness and Self-Expression categories, and a recipient of the Be Your Best Self Essay Award.
She's unable to be here, so they will make sure that she gets the certificate.
Olivia Smith, participant in the 2018 Wayne Westland Distinguished Young Women Scholarship Program, and winner of the Spirit Award and Be Your Best Self Essay Award. Madison Lago, participant in the 2018 Wayne Westland Distinguished Young Women Scholarship Program, and a recipient of the Be Your Best Self Essay Award. Alexis Parcell, a participant in the 2018 Wayne Westland Distinguished Young Women Scholarship Program, and a recipient of the Be Your Best Self Essay Award. Haley Hayward, also participant in the 2018 Wayne Westland Distinguished Young Women Scholarship Program, and a Be Your Best Self Essay Award.
Haley's unable to attend, but they will make sure that she gets the certificate.
And Arisa Lico, participant in the 2018 Wayne Westland Distinguished Young Women Scholarship Program, and a recipient of the Be Your Best Self Essay Award. We do need to take a picture. So we do need, I would like to do two, how about we do 2 rows, okay? So we take about maybe 6 girls in the back and then, okay. Okay. And then Lauren and Jody also in there, and then Mayor Rowe. Yep, and each side.
All these young
All
ladies
right.
live in Wayne, residents of Wayne.
Is that good? All right. Yeah. We do it? Everyone? We good? Yes. All right, thank you.
I'm a hugger. Really. Thank you so much.
Mayor O,
Yes.
I was curious, are all these young ladies from residents of Wayne?
Yeah, you want to tell them where you're from?
Okay. Okay. Congratulations.
This is another fine example of the quality of individuals and young people we have in our community, as well as Westland here.
Yes.
Well represented. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
We're very proud of you all.
Yes, we are. Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thank you. And come back and see us even after you graduate, okay?
I should mention that these girls are very eager to serve their community.
I can, yes. Good, very good.
What you'd like them to do, give us a
Oh, we will. We will. We'll call you.
Love to help in any way.
Okay, thank you. We appreciate that. Thank you.
thank you.
Have a good evening.
Okay, item 3C. This is a presentation by UAW Local 900.
Okay. Okay.
Mayor,
Yes.
Council, Ms. Noserini, we appreciate the opportunity to address the council tonight. This story started about 5 or 6 weeks ago. Lloyd Allen, the chairman of our retirees chapter, talked to us at a membership meeting and told us of your plans to restore your veterans memorial. We talked a little bit about it. As the story goes on, Councilman Racy and Councilman Porter contacted us and asked us if we could be of any assistance. So if I could ask you two to come out here tonight, don't ask us to come if you didn't expect something. So we brought a little help for you guys. We understand that Ford Motor Company has made a decent donation. What we have tonight and with what we have coming from Vice President Jimmy Settles equals the $15,000 that Ford donated.
Thank you.
I personally would like to donate $500 on behalf of my family and in honor of my dad, who was a World War II vet. We can't let Ford beat us, so we got to come in with $500 more than they got. But I'd like to give credit to the people who were responsible for this. Lloyd, as I said, is the chairman of our retirees chapter. The retirees donated $1,000 from their account. Mike Smith and the officers of Local 900 donated $1,500 from the locals account. The newly elected chairman at ISA plant on Van Born Road, Greg O'Neill, donated $2,500. And I'm proud to say we beat you all at the assembly plant. We have a $7,500 check on behalf of the membership there.
Well, thank you.
As I said, Vice President Settles is sending another $2,500, and I'm going to donate the $500, so the total will be $15,500.
Thank you.
Gentlemen, would like
Thank
to
you
present.
very much.
Excuse me, that's only half a number now. On behalf of my father, who served in World War II, he was a wounded prisoner of war and a proud American. I'll do another 500, make it 16 grand.
All right. Tighten it up just a little bit, guys.
You're not done yet, gentlemen. Oh, you better. This will be everywhere. Put a billboard up. Got it. Thank you, gentlemen.
Betsy. I'd also ask that if you dedicate this, I'd like to be invited back to see it when it's
certainly-
done.
we certainly will.
It is a noble effort. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Mayor,
Yes.
if I could, before everybody leaves, I want to thank Bill and Mike and Lloyd for presenting this. It's fantastic. I knew you were going to outdo Ford Motor Company. There was no doubt in my mind about that. It makes me proud to call everybody at UAW 900 my brothers and sisters. Thank you. We appreciate it.
Thank you.
You outdid yourselves again.
I too want to thank you guys. I very, very much appreciate it on behalf of the citizens. You know, I've called and asked you for stuff in the past, and whenever we've reached out to you guys, you come through and are here for our community, and here you are again, stepping up to the plate. And I just appreciate everything you guys do in our community, and thank you. And congratulations on your retirement, Bill.
Yes, thank you. Okay, with that, I apologize to the council, but I had wanted to move item 6A, flyer regarding Families Against Narcotics. This evening, we have Judge Laura Mack here, who is a member of that committee, and she asked to come and give us just a brief presentation of what this program is all about.
Thank you so much, Mayor Rowe and Council and Lisa. I do appreciate this opportunity. I just hate to be a killjoy after all this wonderful, all these good, feel-good things, seeing these presentations, donations to the city, and here I have to come and give bad news. The bad news, the depressing news, is that we've been hit hard with the opioid epidemic, and I think that you've probably read about it in the paper. There was a recent article in the Detroit Free Press that gave a map. Tragic toll, drug overdose deaths quadruple in Michigan. This has hit our community hard as well in Wayne. I received some information from Chief Maciag, who couldn't be here tonight because of his personal situation, but he wasn't able to break it down for me as far as heroin or opioid deaths, but he was able to tell me that number of calls for service. In 2014, there were 10 calls for service having to do with overdoses. In 2015, that number went up to 21, and in 2016, that number was 32 in our city. So this is just calls having to do with overdoses. I know at the court, most of these have to do with opioids, and a lot of them have to do with heroin. And our kids are dying, basically. Young people are dying of heroin and synthetic opioid overdoses. It's reached an epidemic proportion. A friend of mine who's a fellow district judge, Judge Linda Davis, her daughter became addicted to heroin in 2008. And her experience of dealing with the system of recovery, hospitals, legal system, etc., prompted her to form an organization called FAN, Families Against Narcotics. And it started off in Macomb County. There are now chapters all over the state of Michigan. I was approached about being on the advisory board for the Northwest Wayne County chapter. And so I attended the launch meeting, which was in April, and then the regular forum. There are going to be monthly meetings from now on. The first Monday of every month. I attended last night's meeting, which was the first forum, and there were topics that were suggested. Basically, the mission of Families Against Narcotic is to educate and support people who are dealing with addiction and recovery. So the people that were at the meeting were people in active addiction, people who are in recovery. Mostly it was family members. There were police officers. There were judges such as myself. Judge McConnell from Westland was there. One of the officials from the Wayne Westland School District was there. Westland Youth Assistance personnel were there. Police officers from Northville. Judge Plakas from the 35th District Court. Myself. Judges from Livonia are on the advisory board. So we feel it's important to reach out to the leadership in the communities, let them know about this resource, because the problem with opioid addiction is it's a silent epidemic. People don't talk about it. Families are ashamed. They don't know where to go for help. And so this organization is a tremendous resource of information. And I just wanted to share with you, I brought some flyers. For anybody who's interested. I can give some to the city. You can pass them out here if anybody has an interest. But I wanted to let everybody know about it. It is hard to get the word out about it. But here are some of the possible monthly forum topics that we talked about at the meeting last night. So one topic would be, what is addiction? How does it impact the brain? How does it impact behavior? Why is it so difficult to achieve and sustain recovery? This is a huge issue with heroin addiction. I deal with addiction every day in the 29th District Court. It's mostly alcohol addiction, but also the opioid addiction seems particularly difficult to beat. People relapse numerous times, and it's just a very difficult situation to deal with. And so one of the topics is just defining what addiction is. It's a brain disease. It's a disease like any other. How to recognize addiction in a loved one. What are the signs of addiction? How to deal with a loved one who is in active addiction? Family coping skills. Third, treatment resources. What's available? Who to call? What if you don't have money or insurance? How to find high-quality addiction treatment and mental health counseling. Interestingly, the reason why Judge Davis formed this organization was she was at the hospital with her daughter. Her daughter was in active detox, and she was calling her secretary to tell her that she wouldn't be into the court the next day to hear the docket. And a nurse told somebody else, she heard the nurse saying to someone else, look at that mother of a junkie crying about her junkie daughter. The The treatment she got at the hospital was horrendous. She has since developed protocols of how to deal with people in detox, what to say to hospitals, how to get people into treatment. So I just found that very compelling. What kinds of treatment, discussions of levels of care, inpatient versus outpatient, recovery residences. There were a lot of recovery people at the meeting as well. People who work for recovery organizations like Hagera, Oakdale, GrowthWorks, which is very active in our community. A recovery panel. People in recovery share how they found the impetus for serious recovery and their current regimen for maintaining sobriety. Relapse. Triggers, prevention, signs of relapse. How can families support a loved one in their recovery? Addiction in the legal system. That's where I come into play. Sobriety courts, criminal sanctions, criminal record expungement. Helping our recovering population, reentry, employment, felony-friendly employers, and housing. Huge issues. Suggestions for how to present yourself, what to put on a resume. Dealing with grief. Families experience grief not only if the life of a loved one is lost, but also if a loved one is lost in active addiction. People in early recovery often experience grief due to the severing of their relationship with their drug of choice and the addiction lifestyle. So grief is a huge issue in recovery. Local policy forum. Elected officials and community leaders discuss community and government response to the addiction epidemic. And finally, how can families, individuals, and community organizations support FAN's mission and activities? How can FAN link with other community organizations to educate, eliminate stigma, and improve access to treatment and recovery resources? So I hope that if anybody has questions about the organization, if you're interested in learning more, they do have a website, which is on the flyer. And I have this, which is the list of topics that will be discussed in future forums. And if anybody wants to get involved, I would encourage that. I would encourage leaders in the community to come to some of the forums just to show your support. It's very important to the families dealing with these issues to see the community leaders there. So
Thank
that's
you.
all I have. Any questions?
I know we did have that flyer you gave me for last night's. We did have that. So if you want to give those to Lisa, she will be putting them out in the lobby area. And then we can also put some of the dates on our Facebook page and such.
Yes. It is
Mayor
the
Rowe,
first
where
Monday.
are the meetings being held?
Oh, I'm sorry, I neglected to say that. It's at the Life Church Annex, which is in Canton. It's on Hagerty Road, just north of Warren Avenue. As you're heading north, it's on the right-hand side. There's two Life Church buildings. There's the one on the left and the one on the right. It's at the one at the right. They do have a sign that they post, but it's not very large. But it's the first Monday of every month at 6:30. And they provide water and cookies, but no real food. So
Thank you.
it's very informative.
Yes.
Laura, I disagree with you. I think this is very positive, what's going on to try to help these families. Last year, I had a friend that they lost their kid to an overdose, and they didn't have anything like this for them.
Right.
And they were searching for 3 years trying to get help, and nobody could help them. So don't discount that. This is very positive that this is out there for the community, and just one person getting saved just makes a difference.
Yes, I agree.
So-
Thank you for sharing that. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay.
So we'll move the agenda now to
Yes.
item 4, requests. Item 4A is a request from the Wayne Main Street to hold Wayne Downtown Days, July 13th through 15th, 2017.
Move approval.
Support.
Okay. Was moved by Councilman Racy, supported by Councilman Sutton. Any discussion or questions? Okay. Would you like to give any type of, just a brief report? Okay. This is your free opportunity for airtime.
Actually, Kim White Jenkins is with us tonight. She's been part of the group. We have a group of individuals that have been working very hard to put together a series of events based around the 3 days in July, 13, 14, and of course you all know the Michigan Avenue Cruise is on the 15th. Maxwell, our Main Street director, was unable to be with us tonight, so I told him I would kind of share some information with all of you. We're really excited. We're we're trying to find opportunities to do things in our community that don't drain on our city resources, such as closing off roads and things of that nature. So as this, after this gets approved, you'll see a lot more. The Knights of Columbus will have activities between Thursday and Saturday, not only inside of their building, but beside their building, and these are all family-friendly type events. Helium Studio will have their flea market out in the parking lot behind their building. Icon Computers is having something going on. I'm not exactly sure if it's the same thing he did last year or not, but Brian will be participating. The sidewalk sales will be going on. You all that know that Northside Hardware spends a tremendous amount of money every year on marketing, getting radio stations out. So we are going to capitalize on the fact that they're doing that and try and get more activity for people to come visit the city of Wayne. The Chamber of Commerce is going to help us promote the event, and the Rotary is going to have a concert on Friday evening in the park, and they have invited Benny and the Jets to perform. So really excited. Is there anything important I
That's
didn't?
not right.
What did I say?
Isn't that Benny and the Jets?
Why not, John? It's Steve King and the Diddleys.
That's correct.
Yes.
There we go.
There we go.
Steve King, and even better, Steve King and the Diddleys will be here. So we're really excited, and as the council had all asked in the past, I know Councilman Miller especially, or Mayor Pro Tem Miller had asked, is that somebody from the city be kind of involved, so to speak, with all of these organizations, bring us all together and work as a team, and not all be running out doing our own thing. The JCs are going to be involved with this, the Rotary, so we're really excited. I believe even the Historical Society, the Historical Commission has something, as well as some of the churches. So you'll see promotional materials coming out on this in the near future. And Kim, I want to thank you personally, along with Main Street, for all the work that you've done in making these 3 days possible for all of us. So council, thank you for your consideration.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay. Motion's been made. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you to Kim and to Lori and to all the groups involved.
Item 5 is appointments of boards, commissions, and committees. Item 5A is to approve the resignation of Michael O'Brien as chair of the Dangerous Building Appeals Board.
Move to approve.
Support.
It's been moved by Mayor Pro Tem Miller and supported by, I think it was Tom Porter? Councilman, I'm sorry, Councilman Gabriel. Any discussion? Okay. And move to accept. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries, and with the letter of gratitude.
Yes, I'll do
Thank
so.
you.
Item 5B is to approve the appointment of Scott Ruark, 35727 Elm, to the Dangerous Building Appeals Board until February of 2020.
Move approval.
Support.
It's been moved by Councilman Gabriel, supported by Councilman Racy. Any discussion? All in favor? Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, I'm sorry. Yes, Mr. Blackwell.
Good evening, Mayor,
Yes.
council members. I respectfully request that this item be tabled and reconsidered, because nothing personally against this gentleman, but since he is affiliated with the firm that represented a citizen, now a sitting council person, that brought litigation against this community, I find it very personally disheartening that I guess you could call it guilt by association. I shouldn't put it that way, but it costs the taxpayers money. And I would like to ask council respectfully to maybe look down the list if there's somebody else that applied, because with this person being associated with the firm that's basically sued the taxpayers, I would like to respectfully ask the council to take that into consideration before casting a final vote on that.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah,
The only
if
thing
you
I
could.
add is that Mr. Ruark was not associated with the firm at the time that
Correct.
the lawsuit did take place. He just recently passed his bar, is a resident. He actually was the first person to submit a registration for volunteer on our webpage when we put it out the next day. He was the first person. Also, it does, to act on that board, it does take a lot of training. He did, I've talked to him numerous times about housing issues, building issues. He's quite well versed on building code. That's the purpose of the Dangerous Buildings Board. If a building gets to a point where it is deemed that it has to come down, he will be able to work with the city and be able to make a determination, because it will be the final determination of the board that would actually do the demolition order. Again, he was not associated with it. I think he still would do a good job. He did ask to volunteer for the community. He is a resident, like these residents also. He was a resident even at the time of the lawsuit.
Okay, all right. Any discussion from council members? No, okay. All in favor of having Mr. Rourke on the Dangerous Building Appeals Board? Aye? Aye. Opposed? The motion carries.
All right, the next item is item 7, general items for consideration. This is revised item 7A. This is to approve the new animal shelter fees. So at your places, I put a revised ordinance before you. When this came to you on Friday, it was actually established as a fee by resolution, which in fact it is a fee by ordinance. So I did have to change this around a little bit so that in essence, the form is still the same, the amounts are still the same, but I had to change kind of the format and how we would approve it. Because in chapter 610 of the ordinance, which defines animals and all of the information that's needed about having animals, and our city ordinance about the animal shelter and how we take care of animals in the city, has a connection to what is known as Chapter 210, which is all of the fees we have in the city that are not fees by resolution. So that's why it's a revised item before you. What was in the packet is still the same information, but I just had to change the format so that we would be in compliance with the charter and also our ordinance, so that we would have, actually, this will be to recommend a first reading, and then we will have a second reading at the next, and then it will go forward from there.
Okay.
So in essence, it's changing the fees that are basically that we charge to handle animals, because of course we get then back charged by the Humane Society also. So our fees were below what we were having to pay the Humane Society to take animals, and so we wanted to obviously not lose money on the deal. So this is what is before us. It's picking up animals. Also, we have to quarantine animals if an animal has bitten somebody. Also, disposal fee for animals if we have to dispose of an animal. And then also this included increasing the fees for animal licensing, which will go into effect for the most part next year, to change that. Basically, the last time we changed the fees was in 1999, so that's 18 years. So this is what's before you. So it's a revised item to have a first reading of this ordinance.
Okay, all right.
Move to approve.
Support.
It was moved by Mayor Pro Tem Miller and supported by Councilman Gabriel for the first reading. Any other discussion? Okay, yes. Yes, you do. Yes, you do, Mr. Osborne.
Good evening, Ms. Mayor and the council. Could you rephrase what this motion, what you have here before us about the
Certainly.
animal shelter?
Certainly, you want the fees read to you?
No, I just want what he just said, Mr. Miller.
Well, it's we're increasing all of our fees for the animal shelter.
I got the signal, he said this would be the first reading.
Right, this is the first reading of it, and then,
It does not say anywhere on here that is first reading, and it doesn't give any facts or figures
Right.
on this for we, the people on the back end here, to review.
well, this went out online with our packets on
Well, good,
Friday.
I didn't get it.
It's online.
Well, good for them. Well,
Yes.
I'm not on the line, okay?
Well, yes.
I'm right here
okay.
in front
All
of
right.
you
Would
asking
you like
questions.
this? You can have my copy then, Mr. Osborne.
No. I like to get documents beforehand and then review them. and don't make
And Mr.
rash-
Miller explained to you why.
He didn't explain to me, he explained to you.
He explained to the members here this evening that he had to redraft it as an ordinance, not as a resolution. So it's reformatted as an ordinance, which means we have to have 2 readings, as
Okay.
opposed to just a resolution, which we would just vote
Well,
on tonight.
I wish that would have just said that, you know, you're gonna have a first reading on
Yes.
some item, because I think the last meeting we were here, you didn't like blacktop, parking lots, and, he made that into another type of resolution, so you got resolutions, and, what was that? Do you remember the ordinances?
That was an ordinance.
Yeah,
Yes.
you didn't pass it.
No, there were 3 of us that voted against
This
it. I
doesn't
voted
say
for
it's
it.
an ordinance.
No, because that was in error. There's an amended agenda and the amended packet that we received today for the ordinance.
Oh, so we have something in error.
Yes.
Oh, well, thank
It
you
was
for bringing
amended.
it to our great attention, my
Yes.
attention anyway, that there was an error
Yes.
placed in there. And what fees and who takes care of wild animals here in the city of Wayne's control? Do we have an animal control officer?
Yes, we do.
Okay, does he work 40 hours a week?
No.
Who picks up the brunt of the work for the rest of the time? Say he works 20 hours a week. Who else does it?
Well, if the officers are available, they will do that.
Who does?
The police officers.
Oh, well, does he get to the mic? I can't hear.
The police department does, Mr. Osborne.
Yeah, but, you
Yes.
know, we
You
get.
call the police department and they
we
will
get-
do
we
what they
get
can.
We get charged, okay?
Yes.
And, you know, this word about chargeback,
Yes.
I thought we had an agreement with Wayne Westland that we used to take into Michigan Humane Society after a certain business of time.
That
But,
was
thank you for your
discussed-
time, and thank
Yes.
you for noticing the error and bringing it to my attention.
You're welcome, Mr. Osborne. Have a good evening.
There was a motion by
Yes.
Mayor Pro Tem Miller,
All in-
seconded by.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
The next item is item 7B. This is to approve the commercial real estate services to be provided by Colliers International.
Okay, I would ask that, as Councilman Sutton was part of the committee for this, that he give us a brief overview of how the process went about.
Sure. Thank you, Mayor. Just want to talk about the process a little bit. We got 5, when we sent out the RFP, we received 5 RFPs back. They were reviewed by myself, by Lori, our Community Development Director, and Matt Miller, City Clerk. Out of the 5, we interviewed 4 firms, 2 of which were larger firms with some global and some global reach. 2 were local firms, a little bit smaller, deal a little more locally. So based upon the following facts, which I'll go over, we come with a recommendation for Colliers International to represent the city for our commercial real estate. Colliers International assembled a high-quality team to execute an aggressive plan to sell commercial properties owned by the city. When they came in, they blew us away, really. They were well prepared. They had prepared a SWOT analysis, which, if you don't know what a SWOT analysis is, it identifies strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So they were the only firm that did that coming in. They had a very aggressive approach, and they really just kind of blew us away, to tell you the truth. A couple other things. They established a timeline, a marketing plan, and in the interview, also another important thing in the interview process was we were impressed by their fee schedule. They will be receiving their normal 6% commission, which is standard. However, they will provide a 25% rebate back to the city of their rate if they sell a property. If another broker is involved, they will receive 3%, and they will give 25% of that 3% back. So really, like I said, it was kind of a home run. They set themselves apart from the rest that we interviewed. Just really in closing, I just want to thank Lori for all the hard work that she did going in here, and Matt as well. we feel really, really comfortable and confident with this recommendation for Colliers International. So,
Thank you. Any questions from council? Yes,
This is for Lori, I would think.
okay. Yes.
I know you've worked with a number of people, like for the ABC building, looking to try to sell that. If one of those things and those people decided they wanted to do that, are we able to sell them? Do we have to pay the commission? Or are we able to sell it ourselves, or how does that work?
Well, lots of times, and if I'm Peter McGrath is here with us today from Colliers International. I just want to recognize him. Lots of times, what will happen in certain situations like that is if I've worked with someone, when you enter into a contract with a commercial agent, that's part of their agreement. Is if for some reason I worked with Tom Smith and he came back and he decided to buy the building, that they would not receive commission on it. But that's typically something we'd work out with them. At this point, I don't see anybody coming back, but you don't know. And Peter, correct me if I'm wrong, is that typically how you arrange agreements? If there's someone that's already in the process, that the commission wouldn't be paid on it?
Yeah, sometimes the previous broker gets the commission, or after a certain period of time, it runs
Okay.
off.
And in this situation, there was no previous broker, so.
Okay.
Okay? Does that answer your question?
Yeah, I mean, just thinking, we had like the ABC building where we had somebody we didn't sell it to. They decided to come back and wanted to make a proposal, or somebody else like that, because I thought there were some other people. So we could do that, and we wouldn't have to pay anything. If any of the people that talked to you,
Well, right, there's two that have actually, one that actually you brought before you, and another one submitted an offer that was not moved forward based on this process we're going through. And I will disclose those names to him when the city attorney's office drafts the contract.
okay, I'm good
Okay.
with that.
Any other questions? No? Okay. What is the wish of council?
Move to approve. Support.
It's been moved by Mayor Pro Tem Miller and supported by Councilman Sutton to go with Colliers International for our commercial real estate services. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you. And welcome, Mr. McGrath. We look forward to doing business with you.
Mayor,
Yes.
I would also like to thank the committee. I think they did a fantastic job. And Matt, Lori, and Councilman over there, so
Yes, they
we
did.
appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.
thanks, Tom.
The next item is item 7C. This is to approve the sale of vacant land, which is lot 644 Avondale sub number 3, which is adjacent to 31658 Carlisle Parkway.
Okay.
Move to approve.
Support.
It's been moved to approve the sale of the vacant land at 644 Avondale Sub by Mayor Pro Tem Miller and supported by Councilman Porter. Any questions?
Madam Mayor?
Yes.
For the audience,
Yes.
can we list how much it was sold for?
Yes.
I can do that, and I actually, I love to tell stories, so.
Yes, go
This is
ahead.
quite a story.
Yes, it is.
It's for the sale for $1. It's a 20-foot lot, which is adjacent to a home on Carlisle Parkway. We can kind of start at the beginning. I was contacted by a real estate agent who was having difficulty finding a Sidwell number on this parcel of property. She was selling the home for the estate of Benita Woodruff. Mrs. Woodruff has lived in the home since 1968. She has passed away, so this real estate agent is actually dealing with the family now. And so she called me, and I was looking around, and I could not find a tax ID number that connected to Mrs. Woodruff either. And I did some further investigation and found that, in fact, that this 20-foot sliver of land, which is next to their house, is owned by the city. But at one point in time, the Woodruffs did purchase the property for $250 in 1981. And so at that time, they have fenced it, planted trees, they have a porch, they've got a shed. They thought everything was fine from 1981 until now. And then in 1986, somehow, this lot was put up for tax foreclosure and foreclosed upon because there was no physical structure on the lot. No notice was ever given to the Woodruffs that we know of that we could find. And then I did some further research back in 1981. A deed was never recorded for the sale of the property by the city. So we're, in essence, kind of clearing up kind of a long history. Of course, the Woodruffs have taken care of the property for years, and they assumed it was theirs, and in fact, it is not. Of course, we have not maintained it at all, but in essence, I guess if it doesn't go forward, we are stuck with a 20-foot sliver of land next to their home. So which we, of course, don't need to take care of and don't need the liability either. They have not listed the house yet because they're concerned about this, and we are trying to clear this up for them so that they can go forward to list the home for sale and then close out their mother's estate. So.
Thank you.
Any questions? Yes. Please state your name and your address.
My name is Eric Clearman. I'm on Winifred Street. There's another house to the other side of that vacant lot. Why are we selling it for $1 rather than soliciting bids for both homes?
Actually, at the time, we did contact I did find a letter actually contacting the people at the time in 1981, but at this time I did not contact those people because of course it would cost money to move the fence, the shed, the trees, the porch, all of that. I just don't know if anybody would want to assume that responsibility.
But we don't know because we never checked.
Correct, I did not. And of course, they don't know that it's not the Woodruff side.
Right.
So.
Right.
All right.
Okay. All right. It's been moved by Mayor Pro Tem Miller and supported by Councilman Porter to go ahead with the sale. All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, we now.
Next item is
yes.
citizens' comments.
Okay, I remind everyone it's 3 minutes, and please give us your name and your address. If you don't want to give us the actual street address, at least tell us what street it is. Okay? Are there any comments?
I'm Alfred Brock. I live in the city of Wayne, and I wanted to let the city council know and my fellow citizens that the Wayne Business Alliance has been chosen by the Small Business Administration to run the local competition for the National Innovate Her 2017 competition. Several local organizations have been informed of this, including the Rotary, Chamber of Commerce, and Main Street. The intent is to allow local competitors access to contacts and information they might otherwise need to expend great energy to get. To participate, contact the Wayne Business Alliance through Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, or the contact information on local flyers that will be distributed and have been distributed. The contest ends on June 2nd, and judging occurs on June 3rd. The coverage area for this particular activity is Wayne, Inkster, Taylor, Romulus, Garden City, Westland, and Canton. The challenge criteria are: the SBA is looking for entrepreneurs to create a product or service that meets the following 3 criteria. Number 1, has a measurable impact on the lives of women and families. And number 2, has the potential for commercialization. And 3, fills a need in the marketplace. And what's the purpose of the challenge? The SBA launched the Innovate Her Challenge in February 2015 with the goal of unearthing products and services across the U.S. that help impact and empower the lives of women and families. We know that our workforce looks very different from 50 years ago. Women now make up nearly half of the labor force and play a critical role in our nation's economic prosperity. Most children live in households where all parents work. And as our population ages, families are increasingly caring for aging parents while balancing the needs of work and home. As the demands on women and families grow, the need for products and services that address these unique challenges increases. The Innovate Her Challenge has been chosen as the platform to work through that. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Brock. Yes, Mr. Smith?
Good evening, Madam Mayor and member of council. With a very heavy
I'm
heart.
sorry, your name and address?
Mike Smith, Whitney Drive, City of Wayne. With a very heavy heart, I come before you today, Miss Mayor, to ask you a couple simple questions. And I hope that you're able to at least give me a yes or no answer on them. Number 1, was the city manager's job ever threatened by a council member?
Yes.
I have heard extensive rumors that there are fake text messages going around that have alleged that the city manager is making disparaging remarks towards you, the mayor pro tem, and other members of the community?
That is being investigated. We are looking into it.
Okay, thank you. I also heard a rumor, I mean, partly because we're a small community, but that the city received a complaint from the Dearborn Library that Councilman Sanders allegedly verbally abused the staff and stated that he should get preferred treatment because he is a council member.
It is true.
Based on your answers, I would hope that you guys are really looking at this and asking him to resign.
We are doing an investigation right now as we speak, and we will move forward from there.
I appreciate that. Thank you. Thank you
Thank
for your honesty, Mayor.
You're
Appreciate
welcome.
it.
You're welcome. Thank you. Is there anyone else? Yes.
Hi, I'm Ann Zimmerman on Courier Street in Wayne, but also president of the Wayne Historical Society. And I want to invite everybody in Wayne to come to our farming program this Thursday. It will be our final meeting for the 2016-2017 season, and it's all about the farming practices in Wayne. We will discuss how the early residents of Nankin Township survived on the land we now live, what types of crops and products did they grow, what they were successful at. And one thing we're going to talk about, this lovely, lowly plant called the peppermint plant, which I just picked. It grows proficiently in Wayne. And it put Wayne on the map in the 1880s. We will talk about this plant, the do's and don'ts of growing it, and its purpose, its uses. So please come down to the meeting. The meeting's going to be at the Wayne Historical Museum this Thursday at 7 p.m. And everybody knows it's at the corner of Biddle and Main, and the doors open at 6:30. It's a free program. We have refreshments, and we're inviting if you grew up in Wayne, if you lived on a farm in Wayne, if your parents or grandparents lived on a farm in Wayne, Nankin Township, please come and share your stories with us. We always allow time for our guests to just talk and reminisce, which is the beauty of coming to these meetings. But we also are on Facebook, so just check out the Wayne Historical Society. There's great pictures, and you learn about all of our programs that we're offering. And I want to jump to our next, and also we are accepting memberships at this meeting. It's a yearly membership of $15. If you want to become a lifetime member, it's $150. So it's a great option. But our season ends June 30th. So if you join today, you'll be good for the whole next year. And then I want to invite everybody. The Memorial Day Parade is going to be again going to Westland to their memorial, Veterans Memorial Center right by the library. So the Historical Society is marching. We will have a vehicle, and I'm inviting all the Wayne residents to come out and give us, some support. The parade starts at the Wayne Ford Civic League on May 28th. That's the Sunday before Memorial Day. And it starts at 1 o'clock. We will have marchers and a car representing the Historical Society and Museum. So please come on out, and I know that in a couple of years, the parade will be coming back to Wayne, and it's such a great thing that the UAW and Ford is putting money into our Veterans Memorial. Wonderful thing. So thank you for letting me speak, and hope to see everybody Thursday night at the museum for our membership meeting. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Zimmerman.
Thank you.
Anyone else? Yes. Good evening.
Jeff Wild, Newburgh. Just for disclosure, could we get a figure on what it costs to put a stay on the retiree health care plan that was implemented for the 2017 budget?
I don't know if
Per
plan
month.
from
Right now, per month, it's just around $80,000.
So how long are we gonna end up paying that?
July 1st.
July 1st?
Yes.
So who was the council person that motioned to delay that item?
I don't know. We'd have to go back through the minutes.
Okay, so my concern with it is we kind of pandered to a special interest group, and then we saw that these individuals that pushed this thing and at the cost of the people, they had an opportunity to stand up and actually represent that group and motion to support their proposal, and they sat quietly. And it just seems like a colossal waste of time. The budget is planned out in advance. We went through a special election last year where this budget was hung over our head as Plan B. We had all that time to work this item out, yet we chose to, the very moment it was to be implemented, to delay it and cost the citizens more money. It's just not very efficient, and it just seems like it was done for the interests of some certain individuals versus trying to help people out.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Wild. Anyone else? Yes.
Good evening. I'm Kim White Jenkins. My husband and I own Helium Studio, and I just wanted to thank Main Street and also the council and the staff for your support of the opening of the DIA Inside Out exhibit last month. We had a fantastic showing of our artists, and they were very impressed with your participation, the community's participation, and we thank you so much for that. I wanted to just make a comment about vacant properties on our block, and I know that they're privately owned, so they wouldn't fall necessarily under the community development director's area of responsibility. But I did have a conversation with a restaurant owner who took a look at the corner property on Wayne Street between Ash and Elm, the old BJ's kitchen, and he commented to me that the listing touts the equipment as being, it's ready to open a restaurant. And he said, I went and looked at the property, and actually all of that equipment, it's not up to code. It would have to be replaced, and $120,000 would have to be invested in the property to make it into a restaurant again. So I'm mentioning it just so that if there is an opportunity to meet with these private property owners and kind of give them a heads up on feedback that we've received regarding the value of their property, that it might help us open these vacant properties, open some businesses that the community is asking that we add. If only these real estate owners would kind of let go of their property, be realistic about the value, and sell it to someone who's got crazy, cool ideas and who would like to do cool things in the city. So wherever there are opportunities for council to influence those private property owners, we welcome that as business owners downtown.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Jenkins. Anyone else?
Hi, I'm Tina on Winifred Street. I just wanted to say thank you for acknowledging the opioid problem in Wayne. And Raisa, I agree with you. It's always good to show the ugly side of good things. And I just wanted to thank you guys for approving the new dispensary in Wayne. It's very nice. It's much more classier than the one by SVS. And marijuana is an exit drug. Thanks.
Anyone else? Yes, Kim.
Carolyn Marnin. I'm here on behalf of Wayne Main Street, and I just wanted to let everyone know that we are having our second annual chocolate walk this Saturday. Tickets are in advance are $10, and you can get them at the Main Street offices there in the museum. If there happen to be any more left, because we only have 13 left, there'll be $15 the day of the event on Saturday, and the event is from 12 to 4. Also, I wanted to update you on the DIA Inside Out program. We have some activities coming up. First of all, there is the overall scavenger hunt that is going on throughout the whole event. You can find the maps online at downtownwayne.org, which is the Main Street website, or we have some over here that you can pick up and fill out the, answer the questions and have a chance to win prizes. So that will be running through July 17th, where we will pick 3 winners. I know there's more. The Wayne Bicycle Club is doing a bike ride where they will have a DIA docent come out and talk about the different paintings as they go around. I hear it's 4 miles. I can't believe that, but okay. So they meet at the State Wayne Theater. That's Thursday, June 8th. We are trying to put a program on with the Wayne Historical Museum, or Historical Society, sorry, trying to get them to come out and do one of their talks, which is Cows at the Opera, Museum, Mysteries at the Museum. But we have to change the date because I think June 8th. But we'll have more information about that. So just, keep up to date on the Wayne Main Street's website. They're also planning a family fun day and food truck rally as part of getting everyone together. That is, I'm sorry, I don't know the date for that one. I think it's mid-June sometime. Also, during the sidewalk sales, or downtown days, as it's now coming to be called, we're going to have a DIA mobile exhibit. So there's a lot coming up. Maybe there'll be more, hopefully some programs at the library. And finally, Jillian Reese, who is the community relations person with the DIA,
Okay, you've got your
is
3
going
minutes up. Your 3 minutes are up, I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. Wayne Main Street.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Madam Mayor, Council.
Yes.
I'm Vern Amos. I live on Stellwagen in Wayne. I am a member of the Neighborhood Watch Patrol. I'm here again tonight to ask the people at home or anyone here in the audience to come and join us and help us take our city back. We don't ask that you patrol every night of the week. We're only asking a minimum of 2 to 4 hours a month. It's strictly on volunteer basis. If you wanted to patrol 1 hour tonight, perhaps not another hour until the next week or even the following week, we can always use help day and night. It's not just at night. We're looking at all hours of the week. So if you're interested, please see Brian at Icon Computer. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Amos. Anyone else? Yes.
Hi, Eric Clearman from Winifred. A few points. First, I'd like to thank the UAW, Councilman Raisa and Councilman Porter for getting together and getting $31,000 toward that. We have a lot of veterans in my family, and I really appreciate that. Secondly, I'd like to thank Ann and the Historical Museum. They've had a lot of great programs this year. We've really enjoyed going to that. Anybody who hasn't gone might think about doing it. It's educational and fun. I had a question about when the next meeting is going to be. The calendar doesn't list any of this month after today.
Council meeting?
Yep.
It's the second and the first and third Tuesdays of every month.
Thank you.
From 8 till whenever.
Also, we voted down the weed control on the islands on Michigan Avenue. Then we voted the next week to have that again.
Yes.
We've had a whole lot of dandelions in front of us out there. Just wondering, has that been implemented yet this year?
I don't know.
Mayor, the moisture has really created, a lot of growth. And so they're on a certain application time frame. So because of the massive amount of rain, I mean, you can even see that, they just cut the grass in the City Hall parking lot a week ago and it's already there. So it has to do with the application process, so, and the amount of rain we've had.
Yep, just wanted to make sure if we're paying for it. we're
Oh,
actually
you
seeing
bet, you bet. Nope, happy to answer that.
it. All right, and the last question I had was the recycling center is up for sale. How much is that for sale for? And what are we trying to get for it?
You know what, Ed is not here this evening. Let me get that information for you. I don't want to quote anything incorrectly.
All right, why are we selling it?
I have not had a chance to sit down with Ed and go over all the facts on that. I apologize.
Right. If it's just for $1, I'd get 20.
Okay.
So,
I'm sorry, Mr. Clem, I couldn't answer that. I'll get that to you next meeting.
Okay. Any other questions? Yes, sir.
My name's Lenny Powell. I'm in Wayne on Howell. But the thing is not even a complaint, but it's to deal with the fire department. They got a car wash coming up the 13th of this month, and I haven't heard anything about it besides online, so. It's
Okay.
for MDA.
It's for what?
MDA.
Oh, Muscular Dystrophy Association, okay. And it's May 13th, you said?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, it is May 13th.
May 13th, okay.
They remembered to send me an email the other day.
Okay, okay. All right, thank you. Do we have a time? Do we have a time on it?
It's from 10 until noon.
10 to noon.
At least until it ends, if people keep coming through.
Okay, all right,
They did make me aware of it.
okay. And that's a donation?
Yeah, it's for the Muscular District.
Right, so it's the amount of it is for any donation, okay. Thank you. Yes,
Mayor, Council, I
Yes.
would just like to also reiterate and echo my union brother here, Tom Porter, Mr. Carr, my brother Smith, off from UAW Local 900. We just have to remember that America was built by labor, and something you might find kind of funny, if you've never been up to Clare, Michigan, there's a unique donut shop there that is owned by some police officers that I've managed. I'm 50 years old. I've been going up there since I was 6, so 40 some years, you know.
Yeah.
I've given the gentleman the number to Lori. I told him we do have space in Wayne, and their motto is cops and donuts. We fight crime one donut at a time.
yeah.
So maybe that's a little attention getter to bring people to Wayne, you know. But again, I just wanted to reiterate, God bless the UAW, my brothers and sisters from Local 900, Jimmy Settles, all the brothers and sisters who gave generously, Mr. Carr. Just want to say thank you, Mr. Racy. Oh, there, I'm sorry, I got sidetracked there. Mr. Porter, hey, you know, you look younger, you know. But I just want to say thank you. And somebody should be getting in contact with Lori. Hopefully, I've been trying to get him to come down here to actually look at Wayne, because we're sort of similar, you know, in population. So, thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? No? Okay.
The next item is item 8, items for next agenda.
Council have anything they wish to put on the next agenda, particularly? No? Okay.
Mayor,
Yes.
that we do need to have a budget session on May 30th, the final Tuesday of the month.
Right, well, that's normal, though. We
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
have to ask for that.
Well, we canceled it the last month, so I just wanted to make
Right,
sure.
okay.
Okay, I'm sorry, apologize.
Okay, the next item is item 9, consent calendar. There are 4 items before you.
What was the wish of council?
Motion to accept without exception.
Okay.
Support.
It was moved by Councilman Porter, supported by Councilman Racy. Any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. City Manager, do you have anything?
Just a couple of items, if I may. I know that I've had a lot of questions about the state and some of the help that Treasury is providing to us. And I wanted to just say that in your report last week, I did announce, and I wanted to let the community know that one of the items that the state is really pushing us on is becoming a ready redevelopment community. And Lori and Matt are working with Treasury, and they're coming in tomorrow to help us finish our assessment so that we can start the process. So they're coming in tomorrow, and we're excited to get that process complete so that we can start getting our community on track for becoming an RRC. The park deeds review, we are starting with about 5 parks. We had to eliminate 1. 4 parks out of the system. As you recall, we have 19 listed, but 2 are trail systems, and some of our parks are so small that there's no opportunities for development. What's going to happen is the state is going to give us technical assistance, free technical assistance. They're coming in tomorrow to pick up the 4 park deeds to look at some of the options we may have for potential redevelopment for sale. Some of our parks that are not used or utilized as much. Some of them have already water and sewer lines running under them, so they're right for potential housing opportunities. So certainly it's just, we're in the very early stages of looking at properties, but right now the city is pretty much overdeveloped, so we have to start looking in areas, and we do have a lot of parks that we just cannot keep up with. And we have a lot of parks that are on top of each other too. So we're trying to be very smart about how we approach this process. So it's nice to have the technical assistance coming our way. The other thing is the city is going to be working with Department of Treasury. They're sending in one of their financial experts. We did hire a finance director. Katie did start last Monday. She's great. She's going to be presenting at the next budget study session on a couple of items that the council's asked us to look into. But the state's going to be in here late next week to talk about our technology deficiencies. With a city hall that's not open as much as we would like it to be, we know that it's very difficult for individuals to pay their bills. I mean, not everybody can get back here between the hours of 10 and 4:30. So we're going to be looking at our technology deficiencies and trying to figure out a way that we can be more customer friendly with regards to our technology activities. And that may be kiosks or other ways that we can do this. They do exist. We just haven't had the resources or the time to really look into them, but we need to do that. So I'm looking forward to the 2 days to spend with the finance expert from the state to give us that free technical assistance as well. The other thing is the city's we're working on 3 grants right now. Actually, my company is, 1 is for the police department and 2 are for fire. And I don't have all the details yet. We're just hashing a lot of them out, but we are desperately searching for grant opportunities, and we're looking in places that a lot of other departments are not seeking grants in, not your traditional areas. So I look forward to some wins in that area. The last thing I just wanted to say is that I feel that the federal government is really, in a lot of ways, out of touch with our local communities and what's going on. I feel like they don't think it impacts them. And I feel that with the new leadership in Washington, D.C., we're forgotten quite a bit, and this isn't the first time. I am going to have Senator Gary Peters' office out here next week to meet with our police department and our fire department to start. They're going to spend an afternoon with us to talk about the equipment needs we have, the issues we have with staffing, some of the things we're trying to do to accomplish to keep our staffing levels up. But I think that they really need to understand a community that's struggling, and a community that's not just struggling financially, but a community that is also going to have to face, and we are starting to face, the inability to get public safety personnel to take these jobs anymore. It's becoming a very strong reality. I know that our lieutenant and our chief can speak to that, certainly. And I think that our federal government's a little bit too out of touch with our communities, and it's time to give them some education on the needs. So I look forward to having Senator Peters' office out here next week, spending time with public safety, and then I'd like to bring them back to talk to our other departments as well, to educate them about where our deficiencies are happening. Our buildings and engineering department is one of those areas that's really falling badly right now. They can't keep up, and that's another area where people are just not getting those jobs. They're not training for those positions. So these are very real problems that our communities are going to face, and they need to stop going to Washington, D.C. and staying out of touch with us. I mean, we are not corporate. We are not, and they pay a lot of attention to the bigger, fish in the sea. But you know what? We exist. We also pay taxes to the federal government. So I think it's high time that they pay a little attention to us. So that's my report. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. All right, I do have one, a question was asked at the April 18th meeting regarding the agreement with HYPE and that they cannot make alterations to the property without prior approval from the city, referring to some trees that were cut down. And the answer is that according to Article 8, it does state no alterations, Section 8.01. The tenant shall not make any alterations, additions, or improvements to the premises without the prior written consent of the landlord, which would be the city. The city manager addressed the tree removal issue with HYPE and cited Article 8, Section 8.01.
Hype stated that they had every intention of replanting and have done so to the tune of approximately $1,500. The city manager made it clear that any alterations must have the approval of the city, and the city will hold Hype accountable to the lease agreement, to which Hype apologized for any misunderstanding and stated that they would follow the protocol in the agreement in the future.
Mayor, may I add one
Yes.
more? I apologize. May I add one more thing?
Sure.
Mr. Claremont was bugging me that I couldn't answer your question, and I kind of got caught off guard. I do apologize. I had to text Ed and say, we're selling the recycling center. I didn't want to put him on the spot. No, we're not. Actually, that sign is at the recycling center, but it's for the Buildings and Engineering Department. That's vacant now. So nobody pulled the wool on my eyes, thank goodness.
Then I want to make the sign more clear.
Yeah, you bet. We'll just certainly discuss that. Thank you for bringing that to my attention.
Thank you.
You bet. Thanks,
Thank
Mayor.
you. Mm-hmm. Thank you. Okay, Mr. Sutton.
Thank you, Mayor. I just wanted to take this time to say thank you to the local 900, Mike Smith, Lloyd Allen, Bill Johnson, for your generous donation. We appreciate it. Veterans Memorial is very important to us here in the city and to a lot of the people that live here and that have veterans in their family or are veterans themselves. So I just wanted to say thank you. I appreciate it.
Okay. Councilman Porter?
Okay, thank you, Mayor. First, I want to say a big thank you to the children and teachers of Hoover Elementary for the 2 trees that were planted at Wood Park. And also, thanks to our DPW workers for the help. They did what they usually do. They came out and did what we expected, help. Vern sort of stole a neighborhood watch patrol talk I was going to give. I'd like to recognize the efforts of those individuals. They've been making a big difference in our neighborhoods, and as Vern said, if you can volunteer up to 4 hours a month whenever, that's great. If you can't, if there's no way you can get out and drive around for an hour, 2, 3, they always need a gas card because these people are financing, driving around trying to protect our homes, and I think it's well worth the effort. I listened to Mr. Smith talk this evening, and I'd like to ask the mayor who is investigating this alleged abuse of texting and the library allegations, because I'm a sitting councilman and nobody's ever told me there's an investigation going on. In fact, if I wouldn't have heard some of his talk, I wouldn't even know about this. So I would like to know who is investigating it, first of all, because
That is a matter that we will be discussing privately. I would appreciate if we would not have any more discussion about it tonight.
because I'm ready to call for a special meeting and have the gentleman in front of us so that we can talk.
I would support that.
We're not a court of law, though.
Yes, we are not, and we have really,
I just want information.
we will be getting into it and looking into it further. That's all I want to
So-
say right now.
So is the rest of council going to be privy to this?
Yes,
or are
they
we
will
gonna
be.
hide
It
all?
will be. It will be.
If I may, if the council isn't familiar, the problem with discussing these things in an open forum, you get into potential liability issues. So depending on the statements that may be made, we don't want to encourage statements to be made that potentially are untrue or false or defamatory, et cetera, et cetera. So I do think that there'd be a proper forum for the discussion, but due to the fact that there are potential civil liability issues, there's a concern with initially discussing them in a forum such as this without a proper investigation occurring. And that's just from a city liability standpoint, to make sure we don't expose the city or any of their officers to any liability in the future.
I'll withdraw it, but I want in the loop here pretty soon. I mean, I'm so sick and tired of the citizens hearing about things like this long before I do, and officially. This is just wrong. I'm sorry. I'll withdraw that for this time, but I want to see this investigation go forward immediately, and I want to know who's doing it and some facts about it.
You will
Thank
find out. Thank you. Mr. Gabriel, Councilman Gabriel.
Thank you, Madam Mayor. I'd like to just echo the gratitude of the local 900 for their continued support within the community. I have veterans in my family. A lot of friends of mine are also veterans, so The gratitude to show the appreciation is very, very much appreciated from all within the community. And I think it's centrally located as well, so it's really going to help with the aesthetic appeal of our downtown and any passers within the community. Would also like to commend and congratulate the ladies that won the awards tonight, or was presented the awards. Went to their celebration last year, and it was very enlightening. Even going to school here and growing up here, I wasn't too familiar with it until I went there, and I think it's just an awesome program that they have. So, again, congrats to them, and nothing further.
Thank you. Councilman Racy?
Thank you, Mayor. One clarification I wanted to make on the awards, the Ford Motor Company money. Mayor Rowe is the one that went out and was able to acquire that from them, and I appreciate her being able to do that. So thank you, Mayor.
You're welcome.
I wanted to answer or ask to have Lori look at that BJ's Kitchen that was mentioned tonight. That building, I've went by there, the ceiling's falling in. There's a broken window on the outside that I've actually reported before. I haven't reported it to you, but I had reported to ordinance in the past that is on the outside that really needs to be fixed. But it is not in any way, shape, or form something that somebody could just go in, walk into, and make that work. And so if that could be looked into, that building does need some attention. From my understanding, the Light Up Wayne program is going good so far. I had heard from Brian yesterday, and he's already out of bulbs at his location. I know that they still have some in City Hall and at the police station. He's ordering actually more bulbs, doing another 100 bulbs. So they want to continue to keep that going, and that's really positive to see that people are participating in that as we speak. Mark Blackwell asked something about or talked about the Cops and Donuts. I'd encourage Mark to go talk to the Main Street program. Clare, Michigan, I was out there at a conference a number of years ago, and they're actually a Main Street city also, and maybe they can help you with what you're talking about and be able to maybe build some connections. But that'd be a great place to work on that thing. It was a really cool place to go to, by the way, and I had a donut or two, so can't tell. Then and I echo Councilman Porter on the tree planting with our DPW, and Hoover did a great job. They continue to do a great job with that. Also want to thank the Red Wings Alumni Association. They had an event over at Roosevelt McGrath probably about a month ago where they donated hockey nets and equipment to their school, and that was pretty neat to see, and had an assembly with the kids and had the kids versus the teachers trying to score goals on each other. So that was a lot of fun and a really nice time for everybody. I had a question on what Councilman Porter was asking about. Because of the situation about the council person that he was talking about, is the council able to go into closed session and talk about this matter so that everybody can get up to speed with stuff?
I'd have to review the Open Meetings Act. Generally, there would have to be a pending litigation to discuss it in the event that there were pending litigation, but I can certainly do a brief review to see if there's another exception that would apply. There's no pending litigation, so that exception does not apply, which is traditionally what would permit us to go back into chambers.
Okay, I'm very concerned what's going on and what I'm hearing when I'm getting approached by people in the community. It's something that's not acceptable to me, and it needs to be stopped immediately. Thank you.
Mayor Pro Tem Miller.
Thank you, Mayor. First of all, tonight, it's been quite a while since I felt so excited about some of the things I'm hearing this evening, especially with the realty. I feel like we are actually at the threshold of some real progress to occur in our downtown area and actually throughout our whole community. And that generally really touches my heart to see that kind of sense of feeling enthusiasm that I'm feeling from this community about that. And I appreciate Lori and the committee and all the work that you've gotten just to build us up to this point, to the opening door. And we're starting to open up that door, and I'm excited for it. And I appreciate the thought of finally getting all these separate entities that we have in this community to start all rolling together so we could all start rolling in the same direction and stop roaring for that last word in our seal, progress. We've got the people, we've got the pride, now we got to get the progress rolling. And we went to the, myself, Mayor Rowe, Councilman Racy, and also Councilman Porter and myself. We went in to the Arbor Day event and shared that experience with the Hoover Elementary students. It's always fun to spend a day or part of our day with them. It refreshes our memories about what it means to be a council person and be a servant for the community. Later that day, actually, my day went 360. Went home to go get my mom, get my friend. We were going to go to Blocks Nursery, found my mom on the floor. At that point, I got the fire department. They came out there, took my mom to the hospital, to Beaumont and Wayne here. And I'm going to tell you what about customer service was absolutely amazing from start to end. And I want to thank Kristen Stewart, who is a resident in this city. She also works at Beaumont Hospital, and she's amazing, as well as the whole team that took my mom care of her. And everything's going great, fantastic. I also want to thank the fire department, because quite frankly, I was at a pivotal point where I needed to make some quick decisions on some things, and they were there to assist me in doing the right thing for my family. I can't thank you enough. I also, the greatest of prayers out to our police chief tonight. Their families experiencing, and I've experienced similar in my own family. I know we all have in some shape or form. I just ask that we all have put some prayers aside for him, as well as for a lot of other things going on in this community as well. We're going to get through this. And I see the light at the tunnel. And I think tonight was a lot of examples and different aspects, from the Veterans Memorial, the Ford Motor Company, the Realty, Historical Museum, Main Street, Helium Studios. A lot of good stuff tonight. That says a lot about us. I've had people drive through our community, come up to me and says, I don't know what's going on in Wayne, but there's something going on. and you know what? We're going to get ready to give a big surprise and show off what our community is really all about. And I also want to point out, I did get a chance to go to Blocks. Did get a chance to get some marigolds. We're going to get some marigolds out on those front signs on each end of our community and showcase this community the way it's supposed to be showcased. And our first impression means a lot and goes a long way. And that's all depends on each one of us. And I'm glad to be a part of it. I'm honored. And you all warmed my heart a little bit tonight. It was refreshing, and I thank you for that. So with that, I'm going to say let's almost close it up with the mayor.
Okay, thank you. I would just like to again reiterate what everyone has said about the Hoover School and the Arbor Day planning. It was a really nice day. The kids were very excited about it. They gave a little presentation about the importance of Arbor Day, the importance of planting trees and being good stewards of your community, and that, you know, the earth all around us, the ground all around us is not our own private trash cans. So when you see somebody throwing out trash, even if it's just a toothpick, if everybody in the city threw out a toothpick, that would be a big pile of trash. So please remember, trash cans are there. You know, if you're going to go walking, as I told the children, you know, take a plastic shopping bag with you and pick up the trash along the way. It's no big deal. Put it in the bag and then dump it in your trash when you get home. We're all responsible for how the city looks, not just, you know, DPW or somebody or some one day out of a month where we have cleanup. This is all of our community. And also I'd like to say that there is a fundraiser for the Wayne Westland Distinguished Young Women Program celebrating their 50th year. It'll be held on the weekend of Mother's Day, which is Friday, May 12th, and then Saturday, May 13th at the Wayne Lawn and Garden on Michigan Avenue in Canton. You'll be able to buy hanging baskets, the larger 11-inch ones, for $18 a piece, and they will be choices of New Guinea impatiens, geraniums, or mini petunias. So that will be an exciting way that you can help and give back to the lovely young ladies in the Wayne Westland School District. And then also, just everybody enjoy the upcoming good weather, hopefully, and enjoy Mother's Day, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Thank you. Motion to adjourn
Motion to adjourn.
Support.
was moved by Councilman Sutton, supported